Alrighty, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fantastic game to bring you today between Rizzards versus For Fun, and with me here is Wonder Chef. So we're gonna get into this game pretty soon. We've actually already gone through the map bans, I believe. Now we're going right into the unit bans.
Nice, and I definitely didn't just drink a monster like down the wrong tube about 20 seconds ago, and I'm definitely not choking to death. So we're gonna have a good day. But no, I'm excited. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm curious to see, of course, what everybody's gonna be banning and stuff. Wizards for fun, two fun teams to watch for me for sure. And I mean, we're getting a little bit further with these newer maps. So I think we're kind of getting to a point where these teams have definitely started to have all practiced it more. So I wonder if that's gonna come into play for today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really big like a wrench in everyone's plans. I think during mid-season we got some new maps, and
Yeah.
we're gonna see how teams are able to implement those maps. And oh well, here we are. We actually can look at it right now. And Ironworks, one of the newer maps, is actually going to be in play.
Okay, thank you teams for selecting that, so I didn't sound like an idiot with that first comment. That definitely made me sound a little bit smarter. But yo, I'm actually excited for every single one of these maps. I'm a big Ironworks fan. I definitely understand whatever complaints are about it, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I just like the gunfighting on it. Harbor City, always hype, and then Thermal Plant. That's a super interesting choice to be the third pick.
Yeah, I mean, what I love about the new maps personally is just like aesthetically, they really stand out comparatively to like the other maps in the game. So Ironworks, I'm gonna love to see just like the look of that map. It's gonna be really fun to watch. And then Harbor, of course, Harbor sometimes is like just such a dominant map for one team that it can be a little bit like unfortunate sometimes when you watch and you see a team get stomped. But if the game's close, and I think this match will be pretty close, Harbor is a very fun map to watch. It's super when teams finally break through those chokes and we get to see those big clashes. It's gonna be really exciting. And then yeah, like you said, Thermal coming up at the end. That'll be a fun one to watch. Some map that everyone knows. We've all played it a ton, so it's gonna be really interesting to see what team's able to edge that one out.
Yeah, I'm excited for Harbor, especially on in this format, in the suit band format, because we get some really interesting I guess like flexes that you have to make. I know the last time that I was here and saw Harbor, probably not the last time that Harbor was on broadcast for sure, but last time that I was here, there was a Sazabi ban, and I can't remember which team it was, but one of the teams had a real tough time kind of pushing in without that front line, and it really kind of like showed like which team was able to readapt better. And of course, there's like a bunch of different directions you can go. You can ban like Sazabi like that. You can ban one of the snipers if you're feeling like you're maybe not going to be winning out that match. You can ban something that's going to be able to choke or break the second choke. Like there's just a lot that goes into it as far as strategy. Like even without the bans, I think Harbor's a really cool strategy map where it's like a lot of like you got to like play out your game plan really well. It's not just about like out shooting, but then especially with the bans.
Yeah, I think it's a really great point to bring up. It's just the bans and the complexity that brings. Because, like you said, there's a lot of choice in what teams really want to do with that. Because you can go towards like composition ban, trying to be like, oh, you don't have a main tank. How are you going to break through? But there's also the other side of like, we know that this player is a specialist at this. I've seen that multiple times in this league that people will ban people's one-trick units because they know they're really good at it. Like we've seen Zaku do melee bans, Pale Rider bans, even a Marsai ban. So it's going to be really interesting to see if the team sort of decide to go towards that sort of targeting banning a player or banning for like a sort of composition like difference if they think they can use a better comp and win through that means.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different directions you can go, so it's definitely going to be super interesting. Just trying to think about who's playing on. I actually always do that. I always think like, wait a minute, actually, who's on each team's roster for this this tournament? I just assume it's like a normal roster, but then I realize that it's constantly shifting for everybody. But just trying to think if there's anybody in particular that could definitely be like targeted out. Somebody like me the roster. I'm just kidding. I'll go look.
Well, I know, for example, it's Rizzards versus For Fun. I know like For Fun like unruly loves that Pale Rider, so I could see like a targeted ban coming out towards that end if maybe Rizzards aren't confident that they can beat unruly on the Pale Rider. So something like that, there's always something to consider. But also with Harbor City, there's also the idea of based on what the other team bans, you want to ban off of that. So for example, if the other team bans a sniper, you could ban the other sniper, and now you're playing no sniper Harbor. So we could do something crazy like that. Or if you ban like bans are in, and we see Mahiru and Turn A. I did not expect the Mahiru ban. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Turn A. We've seen about 10,000 like breaks through the second choke point with the G maneuver. But yeah, Mahiru ban, that is interesting. I mean, it can be kind of obnoxious in both the choke points, but to actually ban it out is pretty surprising. I gonna have to, again, I'm sorry I didn't think about the rosters again, but I'm gonna have to assume that there's somebody who's a really strong Mahiru on one of these sides. But honestly, like Mahiru, it can really work in a lot of these choke points, right? Like you have some of the safest angles in the entire game on the second choke point, and in the first choke point, maybe once they change the map, not quite as much. Like once they get out into the open, you're maybe not as useful, but it was definitely like you could like just fire down all the way through to their basically like first choke point, that first little corner, and it can still be pretty annoying, but to ban it out, still pretty interesting to me. So I think pretty normal game plans, right?
Yeah, I definitely could see teams now that because turn A's banned, that like like you said, the most common plan for this map is just get turn A, breakthrough choke with turn A. That's out of the table now. So you're gonna have some really good executes on your pushes to be able to break through these choke points. Because if you don't have that, you're gonna have to depend solely on your ultimates, which could be a bit of a struggle on this map. I do want to go back though to that Mahiru ban. I know Sweet Peanut Butter on For Fun, he loves the Mahiru, so I'm almost sad to see it banned because I have to imagine that in scrims it's been a disaster for other teams, and that's why it's getting banned. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see.
That's right. Of course, yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to think about it. I feel like the last time that I saw these teams play, or it was like, or the last time I was on here, it might have been these two teams playing against each other, which I didn't want to call it incorrectly, but I am curious what Peanut Butter is going to be using alternatively, because I don't think we've seen that as the ban before. But here we go. We've got the players. We actually get to see who's actually on the roster this time around. Yep, Sweet Peanut Butter is there. Pretty much most people that I'm used to seeing. I think there was maybe a couple switches in there that I was not expecting, but regardless, yeah, we're gonna see, in my opinion, some pretty normal stuff. I think the big thing is gonna be you're gonna have to choose some big, I guess, kind of like sieging, like ults, right? Like I don't know, Zakutu melee ult or something weird to break through. It doesn't have to be that weird, but just without butterfly, you know, gotta choose something.
Yeah, I think my other thought is that the flyers are going to have maybe the potential here, because if you're not going to be able to depend on a turn through chokes, maybe splitting with the air is like your only route to really get through these chokes. But we're seeing some of the picks now. We're seeing the Zeta come out on the side of of the Rizzards, and that's pretty exciting. I haven't seen Zeta on this map yet. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah, not as much on this map, I think I've seen it just a couple times, but I know that Robot's been playing it a lot. Robot kind of feeling like a flying main at this point. So Robot's Zeta definitely looking really good. We are gonna have the Gym Sniper, which is a pretty hard commitment right there. No real, well, I don't know, kind of an interesting comp altogether. I mean, it's a lot of damage on the side of Rizzards, but they're really gonna be depending a lot on that Sazabi.
Yeah, I really do think of note that we're not getting a double sniper setup on defense here, and I'm thinking maybe Rizzards will be able to abuse that by just being able to go really fast through the choke and not worry about getting one shot so much, because that's like a really big threat on this map, is that just every time you get ready to go push, one person gets picked immediately because there's double sniper on the other team and you get crushed. But with no double sniper, I feel like probably Rizzards have the advantage, at least for this first point. We're gonna figure that out right now.
Yes, we are. My last thought, I'm surprised that there's no Dom on the side of Rizzards. I feel like that would be a really important ult for breaking through, especially that second choke point. But we are just going to try with this damage. We're going to see how it goes. There's a lot of far range damage. We see some pretty good hold from For Fun, from FFG. I feel like that makes him sound really cool. Up on the left side, and a Robot already just zooming in. You might get melted out of the air right there. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it looks like Rizzards are going for just like the right push when they saw all of For Fun on the left, but it looks like they were getting crunched, but actually 3 kills coming in the way of For Fun. Felwinty getting a lot of kills there, and they're already on point with Cobalt Tick flanking on that Zakutu range, which is a really unique pick for this map. But Peanut Butter is able to steal that health pack, and they're able to get him off point. But yeah, it looks like that the Rizzards are kind of collapsing here on point, and there goes Wave, and that's point for the Rizzards.
Yeah, that looked like that was honestly not, I mean, it didn't look like it was a good start. A Robot went in, I think maybe didn't realize exactly how many people were defending on the left, but kind of behind the corner, and was like, oh God. And then everybody like ran over to that direction, and then suddenly it was just kind of like a secondary flank coming from Rizzards, which was pretty cool, and they just melted them. Again, it's kind of like a weird comp, but there's a lot of damage coming out from Rizzards, so if they can kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say they're like deathballing in, but if they can land all their shots, it's definitely going to do as much damage as we saw it do. too. So yeah, really fast first take. Now the question is, I feel like they just don't have too many good ults for breaking through this point, and they're gonna have an interesting time. Oh, I love this. I love the buff, the flying buff from Jim Sniper. I feel like we didn't get to see it enough, but it's really fun.
Yeah, it's absolutely fun, but it looks like they've been able to kind of stop this push in the meantime. And I have to look at Felwinty here, still sticking on that GM Sniper like you were talking about. The jump buff is great for this point. You have a lot more angles to look at now, and you have a lot more potential to get those picks. But if the GM Sniper can't get those picks, then he's really doing nothing in the back, and it's making the push even harder for his team. So I think it's really going to depend on Felwinty here to try and open up and get an early pick to sort of let them in. And it's going to be on For Fun to not give him that early pick.
Yeah, did just use the G maneuver, so we'll see if maybe like next death they end up switching. I know that's like you kind of just don't want to waste that, but right now it's pretty much a standstill. It looks like there's a double push, triple push over the wall, over that right side wall. It looks like we're gonna get at least one pick going down. We did get a pick from the Jim Sniper, taking out the Susanna Woe, and then that's 2 picks. This might be a first pick push in, huge ult.
Yeah, a massive ult from Koboltek getting 2 with the Z2R there, and it looks like Shark Beret was trying to stop those bodies from getting rezzed, but they were rezzed, and now Rizzards close up on point now. They've broken through the big choke. It's going to be all on For Fun to try and hold this point now. Hockey going in, but he gets obliterated by OG Name, and get the Gab fighting from the top, and she's not really able to. Gundamalt comes in to sort of delay and let them get on point here, and that's already the first tick. A huge axe from Ultra Cardis. Oh, but Wave's able to get away. No, he's not. He actually can't get away there. And it looks like this point's going in the favor of For Fun so far, but an ult from Sweet Peanut Butter trying to put a stop to this.
Yeah, this is huge. There's not going to be any counter Screaming Nimbus from the other side, so that should do a pretty good amount of work, but the problem is there just wasn't as much to follow it up. That's going to be at least 2 picks here, though. The punch coming in, that's going to be another pick. They are really close to closing this out, but it looks like the numbers sort of starting to fall back into the advantage of For Fun. Nope, team kill, just kidding. Wow, super good coordination. Honestly, I gotta say, I feel like Rizzards won a bunch of situations where I felt like they were not winning, if that makes sense, but like they dominated it. Like it was just a lot of, I guess, concentrated fire and just like good individual play, because I felt like they were eventually getting wiped out there. They lost like 3, the run back happened, and then they just full team wipe. So I don't know, it just happens.
Yeah, I really have to highlight an individual play from Rizzards there, like you said. On that first point, while For Fun got the initial pick on Rizzards, I think they kind of forgot about the danger of the GM Sniper, and Felwinty was able to just pick off For Fun while they kind of collapsed on the team after getting that first pick. And that individual play kind of got them that first point. And then here on the second point, that Zaku 2 range, I was questioning, I was thinking, what's a Zaku 2 range going to be doing on Harbor here? What's the goal? And I saw it. That axe was able to get 3 hits, I think, and they were able to clean up and broke through the hardest choke in the game with that ult. And then, yeah, they were just able to get on point, and unfortunately, For Fun, they definitely got a little bit staggered there. I saw Wave go down pretty early, and then I saw that Hockey went out when his team wasn't really together. They were trying to stop a point tick, and I think when that happened, the numbers advantage for Rizzards just wasn't stoppable.
Yeah, definitely. It like there was one big chance right there where it felt like they did have like they were up like 1, and then they just kind of didn't engage all at the same time. But you know, in the end, yeah, there was some interesting picks. I want to point out the 2 that you mentioned before, the Zaku 2 range, which I've seen before to kind of like try and break the first point where it's like, okay, so somebody has to rotate back if the Zaku 2 range gets through, and then maybe you don't have to deal with as much, and then like everybody can kind of fight on the point, which is, I don't know if that's necessarily like worth it all the time, but the Jim Sniper play, in the end, it was definitely worth it. You know, in that big push to kind of break through that second choke point, got some really good picks as well. But honestly, okay, we're already into the attacking round now. Just some interesting stuff, and it looks like the comps are going to be relatively similar-ish, but not exactly the same.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences is Mr. Hockey on the Susato. Pretty wide range map for a melee character, so I want to see the value a Susato can bring. But as I say that, the push comes in, and they're all going left, unlike the last round, and they're getting those kills. Sweet Peanut Butter taking out Cardis. Felwinty, though, answering back by taking out Wave. And Hockey's going to try and get on Caston here in the back, but he's actually able to get that kill, and we're really helping him out. And worse than a full-on brawl here at first point.
Yeah, this is, I mean, they are fighting all over the place as well. Everybody's running to the left, and now it looks like most of the Rizzards have been pushed back to the point, but they're holding it pretty well. The thing is, they're just not going to have as good positioning for whatever the second push kind of brings, it seems like. Sharkbray going into a pretty scary position, trying to air snipe a little bit more, and yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. We just see, basically, for fun, be able to run kind of for free down the literal road here, and this is going to be an engagement that's not going to be as easy to fight, especially with that melee coming from Mr. Hockey.
I just want to point out, Felwinty already has the ult online. He's going to try and use that Dynamy's ult to take out point. And there goes Unruly, taken out by that Dynamy's ult. Hockey is also low on the right, but he's able to get a health back. And this Dynamy's value is getting a lot here. Ooh, but the sniper ult from Shark, I mean, sniper just in general from Sharkbray is able to take a kill back. And that point looks like it's going to be held so far.
Ooh, yeah, that was, I mean, that was big on the Dynamis Trans Am. That was kind of the last, I don't want to say last chance there, but that was definitely the nail in the coffin. And so there again, they're just kind of holding from this position, and this is tough to do, right? This is tough to actually hold completely from on the point. You really want to have a little bit more, more positioning if possible. But Gab going down immediately off the bat. Kovalchuk getting 2 picks, being a real big MVP here, finally going down themselves, but that might be enough. We will see. There's a lot of damage coming in on the back, and not the entire team of For Fun is all fighting together, while Rizzards is very, very close together.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to point out, though, yeah, so Kovalchuk got that ult, and that was great, but he had his team with him, like you were just mentioning. And I think that was a big part of it, is that it wasn't just him ulting on its own trying to break through, but his team was with him to sort of coordinate and collapse on those people who got hit by that ult. I think that was a really big deal, though. And Unruly here up on his own, while the rest of his team is still in the back, and they're going to get punished for that with a pretty big stagger.
Yeah, that's this is looking like a really strong home, especially with how fast we saw Rizzards take this in the first offense. Is already looking really tough, even if it does end up somehow getting to overtime. But here we go. This is a first good push. They're going to be pushing a lot more from the left side this time around. Sharkbray, of course, holding up the back as a sniper. Gab going in first once again, getting picked off first as well in that kind of the mirror match. But it looks like we're going to get a huge beam confusion come out from a robot. They did follow that up pretty well, getting 2 more picks, which means once again, we're going for the reset, maybe 1 good push left, and there are some G maneuvers available for fun, but not that many.
No, and the cleanup only just happening now. It's a huge stagger. Gifted Gab is already up, but some teammates are still respawning. That's going to be rough. We're going to get 1 real push left for this round, and if For Fun can't break through here, then that's the map, so definitely want to see what they can pull out here. I will say, though, oh yeah, there it is. Dynamy's ult is out on the side of Rizzards, and it's already taken out Sharkbray.
Oh no, that's huge. That's huge. You really needed that pick to push in, and yeah, you got to get close because we do have Unruly with the Hades available. But if you're alone up here, when one Hades isn't going to take out everybody here, we're going to see the attempt already trying to take down Kovalchuk, who's going to be taking out somebody else with the counter punch. That is huge. Or, I'm sorry, was that the axe? No, it was the punch. It was the punch. There's too many dash attack ults here. Okay, come on, making it confusing for me. But that's going to basically be the nail in the coffin, in my opinion. The Hades was kind of, I think, the last chance. Nobody's going to be making it back to point in time. That's going to be a full hold. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, they didn't quite get on.
Yeah, no. Wave trying to, at the very end there, try and sneak back onto point, get into overtime, but Rizzards are able to stop him. And yeah, that's the map for Rizzards. And I have to say, that was really impressive.
Yeah, really, really solid hold. And a lot of it, too, was I think they just ended up having a lot of good G maneuvers at a lot of good times. There are some interesting, I mean, we definitely have some real big character specialists among these teams, right? Like Kovalchuk had definitely really, really good on the Zaku 2 ranged, but it's not always going to be like the best necessarily. But I really, really like the fact that they had a little bit more of like a closer range comp in the end, and the way that they were holding without allowing themselves to be picked off by the enemy sniping was like really clever, in my opinion. Like, you usually don't, I think, see such a close hold on the point from a team, but a full hold, that really cool.
Yeah, definitely very cool to see them playing so close on point to try and counter the fact that the other team was picking that GM sniper, and it worked really well, as we saw. And they also, I want to point out too, they had some more close ranged ults with, like, for example, that Zaku 2 range. So playing in the sort of close situation and nullifying the other team's sniper was pretty clever. And one thing that's great about Dynamis as well is Dynamis can be peeking out and putting himself at risk because he has that little shield to protect himself from getting instantly killed by that sniper. So they were still able to put pressure forward while still kind of hiding on point and forcing the fight to be close. And yeah, that was just really well played. That was a great defense.
Yeah, really, exactly like you said too. Like they had they had the punch from the Ashmar, they had the axe from the Zakutu range, they had that the like big beam confusion, which like technically if it's like more of like a split push and you're playing the more long range defense game, then you could maybe not get full value out of it. But the fact that they made for fun kind of push all the way onto the point, they got that one really big one from a robot, so it was just smart play, all I gotta say. And now it's time for Ironworks, so at least it's going to be a really different map coming up next. I definitely expect that we could see some different bans. I mean, maybe we'll see the targeted sweet peanut butter ban, but I don't think we're going to see the turn A ban again.
No, I think on thermal, you know, turn A is still playable, but I don't. Yeah, probably not the most likely ban. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what the teams sort of pull out here and what they decide. I'm thinking on this map, I know Hockey loves that Susano, so I could see maybe the ban coming out for something like that.
I could see that. Also, I mean, there was no Pale Rider on the side of Rizzards, and we know Unruly's a good Pale Rider, and I feel like Pale Rider range is really good on Ironworks. Harbor City, sometimes it's, I mean, Pale's obviously literally great on every map, but on Harbor City, like, definitely you could see a little bit more weird comps like that. But if they choose to once again go without Pale, then I could maybe see that as an option. But I don't know. There's again, there's a lot of things, and this one's a lot more even. I don't think there's anything that you really want to pick. I mean, obviously you're not going to be picking like the super long range suits because it's not a super long range map. But I mean, even like Point B on Ironworks is like kind of long range. So I feel like this is where you target somebody, if anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the target ban like worked pretty well there. We saw the Mahiru ban definitely probably hurt For Fun's chances there, because when you're playing around a sort of like a unique pick to try and sort of counter the other team and it gets banned, it's a really big deal. So yeah, I think maybe they could be going for the counter bans here to try and just eliminate one player or really diminish the value someone can get on a particular unit. But I mean, personally, my favorite ban always to see is the Sosby ban, because it just totally changes the way the game is played. Whenever we see a Sosby ban, it's always just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a game to watch.
Yeah, it becomes way more of like a skirmish game where everybody's just fighting and shooting into like everybody else in the other team, and yeah, it can be pretty wild. And then even like I think the last time that I saw that happen, we saw like some shifts over to like the oh my god, Hyperion, of course, which we even saw a little bit of Hyperion in the last game, but you can't like full frontline with Hyperion quite as well. Like the Hyperions were running in and just getting instant melted. It becomes a very different game. So it does end up being pretty fun. Oh, we're gonna see a melee band, but it's not going to be the Susan, which I think was a great choice, by the way, but the Barb ban, and that's interesting to me to take that over Susanoo.
Yeah, I mean, it's been no secret that Barb's been hit by nerfs again and again and again throughout this game's life cycle, and Barb's value has definitely been diminished as time has gone on. And with a unit as strong as Susano in the pool, it is a bit questionable to be like, we really don't want to deal with that Barb, which means there must be some pretty frightening Barbs in this lobby. But the other ban has come out, and that's on the Zakutu range, which is fantastic on this map in particular. And we saw the value that Koboltik was able to attain on Harbor with the Z2R, so I can't imagine him on this map. So it's probably a pretty smart ban.
Yeah, I feel like an idiot for not bringing that up. We were talking about all the different single picks that we could pick, and I didn't even mention that one because yeah, this is a great map for Zakutu ranged, and Koboltik was just absolutely running away with things. And of course, not every team is going to have necessarily like a dedicated Zakutu range, so being able to pull someone off of that is very good idea. I think it's a really smart ban overall. I actually don't know. Actually, if chat knows who's the Barb player that's so scary on For Fun, because I'm definitely not familiar. Who was that? Sorry. Delta Pilot. Okay. I actually haven't seen them play Barb, so maybe that's definitely just a me thing. But that is good to know. Thank you very much. And hey, clearly they're really good, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't have been banned.
Oh yeah, I remember Delta Pilot from ranked. I always had some choice. Pilot was able to get some slams off on me. You're playing on JP Ping and you're getting some slams. You're going, oh my gosh, this player. But yeah, so yeah, it could be a targeted ban in that sort of regard, as being like, we think his Susano is weaker than ours, and you want to take that out. So that's always something to think about, because I imagine then they're probably going to initially play for the double melee comp on the side of For Fun, and that kind of being disabled by getting rid of that Barb, and maybe that was the play. Maybe they're more scared of the Barb.
It's definitely a compliment. I think definitely the best compliment you can get in this this game in general is being part of CIL and then getting your character banned. It's like, All right, well, I did my job. Now I'm gonna have to flex around, but at least I was good enough at this game that somebody hated me so much that I didn't get to play my main. But sorry, we're going to Thorough Plan. I thought we were going to Ironworks second. So regardless, honestly, a lot of the same stuff that I was saying still applies. Ironworks is the decider. Yeah, okay. Clearly, I mislooked at the order, but pretty much basically all the same stuff still applies, right?
Absolutely. Like at the end of the day, like Thermal Plant's one of these maps we've all seen before. We all know what this map's going to play out like. So we're just going to see which team's able to do it better. I do want to point out though, very important, Rizzards were all coordinated with their profile pictures. Meanwhile, For Fun was not. So I'm already going to have to favor Rizzards here.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. It's been proven time and time again. Can we get stats all the way back from the very first season to like the coordination to win rate ratio? That's a tongue twister right there. But I'm sure it's near 100%. Very important.
Yeah, if it's not 100%, I'd be shocked. But already now we're getting a little bit of a look at the comps here. We're seeing Sweet Peanut Butter pull out that Mahiru that was banned on Harbor. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. And we're seeing Delta Pilot actually swap. Instead of playing the Barb we expect because of the ban, he's actually be playing the Dom Trooper.
Yeah, so we are going to see the Zakutu melee, actually. So that's going to be, it definitely could still be, I mean, it could have been triple melee. I'm not saying it would have been, but it could have been. What a weird comp already. That does look like it's going to be a very scary team, though. Sweet Peanut Butter, extremely good, especially, I've noticed, especially in a lot of the domination maps, they just tend to have a lot of the angles that Sweet Peanut Butter is really good at. On the other side, we had some subs out, like Melee's back in. So we'll see how this all goes. Didn't have too much time to talk about the comps, but pushing in already with this Hyperion.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the value of these melee suits. We're seeing Sasano already get in and get to Mr. Hockey on Sasano, immediately making it known, how dare you ban the Barb when I'm still in the game? And yeah, the points going the way of For Fun so far. Unless this, yeah, no, For Fun are taking this first point.
Very nice, yeah. I mean, they obviously need to fight their way back through this. We'll see if they're a little bit more comfortable on these up-close kind of maps. It just seemed like maybe they were able to get their engagements further away, but they're doing really, really well so far. They're holding on strong. Unruly's holding in there along with, well, Mr. Hockey was trying to hold on to that health pack, take control of that, which is huge, but Unruly's going to be cleaning up a lot of that, especially you can see Sweet Peanut Butter is an assist on like every single kill right here, and it does look like there's a little bit of an attempt to retake, but it looks like they might be cleared out pretty quickly.
Yeah, like they've done a really great job of just staggering out this Rizzards team and getting kills here and there and just really stopping this push. But it looks like they're finally coming up now through that choke. I want to see this heavy arms value from Ultra Cardis. Is he able to get in here and get set up and let those Gatling guns spin? But it's going to be hard to get position with a Mahiru standing at you. But as I say that, he's on top of point. And Hockey's trying to stop it from the top there. But yeah, this fight's going crazy and there's not enough time left for Rizzards here. That's going to be the entire point on the way For Fun.
Yeah, they're still fighting on it. This is kind of a tough spot. I mean, it doesn't honestly even almost matter who wins this. It's going to be quite a bit of time. He's going to be repositioning. Delta Pilot getting over there pretty quick. Looks like For Fun's going to have a little bit more of that initial positioning going for B. It's going to be a quick rotation. A robot trying to get a little bit of life. Oh God, it's an enemy. No, live. Oh, they're trying to hunt down. That's okay. That's a little ballsy right there. A robot really going for it. Getting finished too. That's rude.
Yeah, Gift of Gab making it known that you do not mess with her in that kind of situation, okay? You don't try and win a 1v1 like that. You got to play with your team if you want to take that fight. Hockey, though, getting a bit over-aggressive and getting punished for it. He's able to get melted. Rizzards are going to try and come out with that push. Oh, the Zeta ult is able to only get one here. Really stopped with that ult, but the Unicorn ult is coming out from Gift of Gab from the high ground, shooting down on the team, trying to take a point, and it's doing a great job of sort of suppressing and forcing Rizzards to fall back.
Yeah, oh no, Robot is zooming up, but yeah, gets caught in a tough spot. Sweet Peanut Butter just able to shoot down that air ramp and kind of hit 2 or 3 different people all at once. Yeah, you can see there, the grenades doing such a good job of kind of walling off that doorway and making sure that nobody can safely even try to get through there. Look at this, it's like, how do we get through this? There's just explosions everywhere. Just knows all the best angles. That is the danger of a Mahiru Specialist. Look at that, even bouncing it for ricocheting all the way through double doors. That's pretty godlike.
Yeah, the Mahiru value is actually being insane on this map at Thermoplant. Definitely not something I expected initially, seeing the comps come out here. And I'm looking at the ults as well. We're seeing 4 ults on the side of Rizzards here, so maybe they're going to try and utilize that to try and take next point. And with the kill going the way of them already, we're going to see if they can sort of take this last point and get on the board.
Yeah, I'm really loving the hero play. Maybe that should have been the ban, but this is, I mean, in my personal opinion, it's one of my like top 2 maps for the suit, because I try to play the suit a lot, and oh my gosh, everybody dying. Okay, yeah, I got 2 kills with that Mahiru ult, but the Ultra Cardis barrage coming from the heavy arms was able to at least kind of turn things around, let them grab that first pick. Barrage, of course, is going to be huge in that little room. There's like nowhere you can really escape it, and now look at this. Delta Pilot has the Screaming Nimbus, might be used right now. Yep, it's going to start their big engagement. It looks like we're also going to be popping the Hades from Unruly. Let's see how well they can follow this up.
Yeah, I mean, every ult in the game being popped right now. We're seeing Spin to Win, Pale Rider ult, everything's being popped, and it looks like it was working out for fun. They were able to take point back, and they crushed that fight.
Oh yeah, I'm really taking out 3 with the Hades, and that's basically a full team wipe. There's not going to be enough time. They only needed about 7%, so a clean 100-17 after being shut out on Harbor, nearly getting the shutout on, I mean, at least round 1 here on Thermal Plant. That is pretty huge. You can definitely tell that these teams have very, very different play styles, and one of them seems to work a little bit better on the long range, and one of them's a little bit better in the close range, maybe, or just within, I guess, the confines of how you have to play the team fights on these 2 maps. So what a turnaround.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that, because so many times in this game, you see 2 teams match up against each other, and there's just a very clear favorite from the get-go of who you think is going to win the whole series. With this, though, I really have no idea after that round what's going to happen. Sure, Rizzards looked like the clear favorite after that first map, but for fun, yeah, they were able to come back here, and they stomped that first round, and I want to see if there's maybe a composition change on the side of Rizzards to try and make up and fix what happened last round. And we are seeing the unicorn pulled out from a robot, what used to be his staple.
Yeah, that's that was kind of a long era ago. It feels like to me, the whole support robot, even the Methis for a while. I kind of miss those days, but it's cool to see. I mean, obviously, I think that Unicorn is really, really good on this map if you're playing this kind of big death ball style. And really, we're just seeing so much aggression for fun that a lot of times Rizzards isn't the one pushing in all as one, but they have to kind of like back up all at the same time. So it could really, really help them out when they're trying to deal with this double melee comp, which is working so well. Ultra Cardis, by the way, switching back over to the zombie. Oh my gosh, that is Rizzards just getting melted by Mr. Hockey.
I believe I saw a big Mahiru stun into Hockey dashing through the entire team. And that was the whole fight. That was it. It was done. That was all it took. 2 abilities. That was crazy. And yeah, for fun, are able to get on the point right away here. Really showing off the value of this Mahiru. I see why it got banned last map.
Yes, that was gigantic. That was beautiful. Mr. Hockey must have had like twice the normal amount of life right there with all that shielding from the kills. That was beautiful. And now look at this. All right, two picks actually. Cabaltic, of course, being banned, is now on the Hyperion. Going to have a similar kind of left-click hit scan type play style, but a lot more defensive. And now 2 members for fun did go down, so this is a really good chance for Rizzards to start making this back. They're going to only be able to about even things up if they do get the retake, and there's a few stragglers. Yeah, it does look like they are going to finally get that retake. I don't know if we're going to see for fun push back for this. This is an awkward timing, right? 15 seconds left. I think maybe you just go to A. It's a far run.
Yeah, and yeah, it looks like they're taking that advice and they are heading towards A here. Just to sort of set up early and have a start for that first fight. No, personally, I kind of question the Hyperion into a double melee comp on the other side, but Cobaltic showing off the value of that by getting those first 2 picks that fight and really helping his team a lot get that first point. Finally getting a capture on the board here. And we're seeing a push from the side here of Rizzards trying to get back on that point that forefront we're already set up on, but Sweet Peanut Butter with the first blood.
That was beautiful. Melee got the hook in, and then like immediately was about to go for the combo, and then all of a sudden there was just a big ground explosion. It's like, oh, Sweet Peanut Butter had the perfect stun right there. I think that's kind of been, yeah, one of the biggest things is not only just the damage of the grenades, but the placements of the, I'm never gonna remember the name of that move, never in a million years, but the placements of the stuns have been so good, and that is like, if that lands, it's honestly like hitting an ult on somebody. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's basically a guaranteed kill if that stun's able to land. And speaking of it, Mahiru was able to get out with that ult as well and help his team sort of win this fight. A robot trying to straggle and take out for fun here. Actually, the team is coming in from Rizzards, and Unruly is low on point. He goes down. The last alive here, Delta Pilot. But ooh, the last second, Wave's able to get on point and get a kill. Maybe Rizzards are getting delayed a little bit too much here, way more than they wanted. Oh my gosh, the vulnerability delay, buying so much time for his team to come back, and that is so much points that they probably thought they could have gotten that they didn't here. Only 20 seconds left. And the point still doesn't switch to their side. Oh my god, finally they get 15 seconds of the point, probably.
Oh my God, they're playing like cockroaches in a good way, in a very good way. They didn't need to win any of those fights. They just needed to stay alive during that fight, and they did such a good job of it. I mean, look at that. They're still going to be doubling the points altogether of Rizzards. So that was a great set of runbacks and just being annoying. And now we're going to B. We're going to get one of every point for this round at least, and can't quite end it here, but already some pretty good positioning for fun. It looks like, oh, the Lancer came out from the Hyperion. I don't think it actually, oh, it did connect on Sweet Peanut Butter, so that's going to be huge, but Mr. Hockey in the background definitely trying to get some great flanks. Already taken down one, but that's going to be a really strong defense with Rizzards holding that high ground very well.
No, I think that Unicorn swap was a great choice when they robot. You saw right there, Hockey couldn't get through the stairs at the end of that fight because Unicorn was just taking that space and suppressing them. Although, as I say that, Dom ult and Wave on the Zaku melee come in and try and take point, but Wave goes down pretty quickly, but this Dom ult is getting a ton of value.
Oh no, Melee has to use everything to try to take down, get the Gab right there. And we do have for fun retaking the point, but they're just surrounded right now. They're holding those little angles where it's like, I'm going down eventually maybe, but I'm just trying to hold on as long as physically possible. And the big thing here is that they just need to get a few percentage that even if they lose this now, they can auto win on the next point as long as they can actually take it. So we're going to see a pretty good hold actually on top of this. It looked like there was a good chance they were going to get held back, but they're just using this low ground. And again, the Unicorn's coming into play really big right here, just being able to support everybody. Gab not using that ult quite yet, but that is going to be a huge punch coming out from Rizzards. And that should be, I mean, a retake for 2 seconds, but I don't know if you wanted to use that punch right there.
No, it looked good in the moment, but there was just not enough time left on point for the value of that ult to really be worth it. We're seeing now the only ult on the side of Rizzards here is Felwinty on that Pale. But meanwhile, we have Mahiru ult and Unicorn ult on the side of For Fun. So I think it's really going to come down to who's going to get more value with their ultimate.
Oh my God, Mahiru and Unicorn, I feel like you just walk through a door and you just die. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, you get anywhere invisible sight and there's just so much AoE damage that you were just down. And Melee definitely experiencing a little bit of that. That's going to be 3 members actually going down from Rizzards. That AoE damage, I mean, luckily they didn't manage to have to push in all from the same place, but oh, they just got melted, and that is a quick take. And I don't know if there's anybody close enough. Ultra Cardis is kind of close to being able to get on the point, but just barely be able to extend that. The Ultra Cardis going down. There is the flyer, but it looks like they might be cleaning this up. There's a chance, though. They're running back slowly.
Yeah, there is a chance here with a contestant coming in from Rizzards trying to take back this point, but For Fun clean it up in the end. Felwinty was close, but not close enough. But I think even still, just there was too many people on the side of For Fun on that point. They were never going to retake that. That was some really great play on the side of For Fun. And we're going to see here the MVP. Yeah, with that Pale Rider, Unruly getting a lot. Oh, Felwinty actually, even on the losing side, getting that MVP.
They both had some really, really good. Oh yeah, you can see Sweet Peanut Butter good for Gab as the second and third, that combo that really just melted that final room, that final point in A. But yeah, Felwinty and Unruly both had moments where they got like 3+ kills off of one Hades, some like really good stuff. So both of them, I think, doing a really great job on that Pale Rider. I mentioned it before. Or like right before this match I mentioned, I think that Pale Rider was going to be a lot more important on this one than it was in the previous game, and that definitely came true. And now I think it's going to be the same thing. So that's 1-to-1, really interesting set, right? Usually I feel like when we see 1-to-1s, it's like close in both the games. It's not like, oh, you got fully, stopped, like full hold on Harbor City, and then in the next one, it's like the total points altogether was like 200 to like 60, right? Like, it's just very, very one-sided games. And so going to Ironworks, I'd have to assume that even though there's a little bit more of like a middle ground between the two maps, I'd have to assume it's still coming off the domination win. For Fun's going to be feeling pretty happy.
Yeah, I definitely think after seeing these two maps, For Fun is probably favored in this last map, but I'd love to be proven wrong and see something crazy pulled out. And I do want to go back to last map. I think the pick bans for Rizzards was like pretty rough. I think that's like a really hard choice to make for them. There are so many people I think you want to target ban. I think after seeing that, we see why Mahiru was banned on the first map, but it's not just the Mahiru that was getting all the value too. Mr. Hockey and Susano was getting a ton of value. Even I think the Unicorn value was absolutely insane for Fun. So yeah, I think it's really hard coming into Ironworks here. What do you ban if you're Rizzards?
I think if you, I mean, okay, I think if I could have gone back in time, I might have banned Mihiru on the last map, but maybe this time around I wouldn't. Again, I really think that map is really good for Mihiru because there's so many doorways, like just doors and doors and doors and doors. I mean, even on point A, there's literally just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doorways, or more than 6 doorways. It's like 8 doorways. There's just a bunch of doorways you can just shoot through. But I think Ironworks is a little bit more open. I do think that unicorn was such a huge part. But I don't know if that's worth it. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go with the Susanoo. I think that's what my pick would be. Susanoo really good on this map. I think. I mean, obviously good on every map. Again, I know I have to keep saying that, but this one there's gonna be a lot less of these like super choke points. I think that we're gonna get a ton of AOE damage down. There's still gonna be some good ones, but I think that like mobility and just that like kind of mid-range ability of Susanoo is gonna potentially be a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to what they pick here. And Susanoo is a great thought as well. I also want to point out Dave on that Zakutu melee also being a massive nuisance that last map. Just being able to set a point. I can't forget where he was able to just survive with a little bit of HP, holding up with that right click, holding your arms up, taking less damage, buying enough time to pop your invulnerability, buying so much time on your own. I think that value is definitely something that Rizzards are going to want to think about as well, and when they choose to ban here, because there's a lot of really scary options here.
Yeah, there were my favorite combo there was using that invincibility, and then they would use the Mihiru stun on the people standing around them, and then it was like, wait a minute, oh no, why was I waiting to kill the Zakutu melee? That happened a few times, and it was actually like very funny looking. But yeah, I don't know. The bans, honestly, this time around, they're not only do you have to think about like what was working well against you, but you got to think about the player playing that suit. Like, what else can they play, right? Like, sometimes, oh well, we're gonna see the Zakutu ranged ban again. I think that makes perfect sense, right? This is another amazing map for Zakutu range, and it seemed like that ban put in a lot of work in the last game for fun. So you might as well do it. And then this time, Sweet Peanut Butter getting targeted again, 2 out of 3.
Yeah, so that Mahiru being taken out and that Z2R being taken out, that means though is Delta Pilot is available to go in that bar. Now clearly Rizzards were worried about the bar in that last map, and we're gonna get to see it potentially on this map. So I wonder if maybe that's a map wide decision, or maybe that was, oh my gosh, the Mahiru was insane, we have to get rid of that, we can't play against that.
Yeah, it's definitely like I think it could be a little bit of both, right? I mean, I personally feel like Barb is a little bit scarier on the thermal plant than on Ironworks. I think Ironworks is a few more areas where you have to kind of like stare somebody down from a little bit further than point blank, and the thermal plant has so many different places where you can, you know, turn a corner and be right next to somebody, or like the vertical mobility is really important, like the little ledges on A, or any single part of C, or low ground to high ground on B. And not to say that there isn't some of that on Ironworks as well, but I just feel like maybe the value isn't quite as scary. And hey, banning out before, it didn't stop the melee rush anyway, so you might as well just go with what you know works.
All right, we might see here, I just realized we might be seeing triple melee come out from the side of For Fun. This is there's potential here. So if we see that, I mean, I guess there certain points of the map are pretty open, not gonna work the greatest. Other points of the map very condensed, and we could see a lot of value. So that's something I'm kind of hoping for, just because it'd be so fun to watch.
It would be really fun, and yeah, that would be sometimes really strong. It looks like we may be getting that. Oh, okay, I am a fan of that. And then yeah, then they're gonna have, of course, Gift Gab on that unicorn to back them up, and then some armor, of course, as well from Sweet Peanut Butter, who's gonna be on the Dom and another explosive suit. I really like that. This is, I think, actually, I mean, this is a scary comp, right? And then of course there's Unruly being Unruly in the background, doing a great job all event so far. So I hope they stick with this.
Yeah, I think it's going to really come down to how coordinated are For Fun going to be with this composition. I think if we are getting like very condensed pushes where the team is all sticking together, then we have like Unicorn armor pop, Dom armor pops, and the melees all go in, and then they're getting peppered in the back from Unruly and Gift the Gab. If it works out like that, then it could be really powerful. But if the coordination's a little bit off and the Unicorn armor isn't getting the greatest value, the Dom armor isn't going on the targets it needs to be, maybe it won't work out as well. I think it's going to be really dependent on that coordination.
Yeah, it could be really easy to get kind of walled out, right? Like if one person gets like focused really quickly, then suddenly you're like down even like one member, your push might not work. So it's going to be a momentum based thing. It does look like there's a pause because somebody disconnected. But on the other side, just looking at what they're kind of starting to hover over, I will say Cobaltic is going over this Hyperion again, and it looks like maybe that won't be quite as useful this time around. I mean, it's not like it's not going to be not useful at all, but against triple melee, you may be kind of not getting the damage that you need to sort of burn it down. Robot going on the Zeta makes a lot of sense, and I think the Zeta is going to be very scary here. Anytime that Zeta doesn't have to shoot into a single shield on a team, I feel like it just kind of snowballs because you don't have to worry about building up whatever your gauge is called. It just happens.
Yeah, I think rage generation is a really vital part of playing Zeta. When Zeta doesn't have the rage, his value is a lot lower than some of the other units you could be playing. But if you're able to build that rage quickly and have that active for the fights, Zeta's damage is very frightening, and he's also building that really powerful ult a lot faster.
What are we?
But there might be some technical difficulties going on right now
Uh-oh.
when it comes to the game and players playing. So we're gonna have to see what happens with that. Can they hear you?
Okay. So it appears as if one of Rizzards' players has just been banned for chat misbehavior.
Wow. Who was it? Call him out.
That was I believe that was Ultra Cardis?
I think Ultra Cardis didn't load in. I didn't know if they subbed them out or not, but I know Ultra Cardis wasn't in the game.
Yeah, no, I just got sent the screenshot. That's
You kidding me?
Ultra Cardis being a naughty boy in chat.
All right, so let's talk about how good of a strategy it was that before the set for fun, they all coordinated. They got all their friends to report Ultra Cardis, and they made sure that the ban happened at least by round 3. You know, that's a good strategy. I want to see that more out of the league. Okay.
Yeah. So clearly, that just means default win for Rizzards because For Fun clearly cheated and got Ultra Cardis banned.
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah, listen. When there's picks and bans in this league, they didn't mean literal bans. Okay.
Anybody remember that point in CS when I forget who it was got banned, back banned? I think it was
Kukli.
Yeah, Kukli. Yeah, got banned live on stream during like a pro match.
During a pro match.
Yeah,
no, that wasn't Kukli.
No, it was I forget who it was, but yeah, it's yeah, okay. Saint, what I guess
what's the rulebook say for this?
You're gonna have to restart it.
I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna have to restart it. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to restart it. Go ahead, restart.
All right.
Yeah, do a restart and let us know what the code is. That's wow.
Let us sit on the hook for 5 more minutes, though. That's what the people want. Then we'll restart it. No, so they have a sub though. Is that the?
They should have one. They Garma's online, and I think they may have one more too. I mean, Meal is probably still floating around somewhere.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They weren't in that last.
I don't see them in the voice chat though, so I don't know what they're gonna have to do here.
I do have to imagine this is the first time ever a player's gotten banned on stream in Gundam Evolution, right? It's first time ever?
Game. In game.
Yeah, during an event on stream. Yeah. Wow. So we're the first, right? Right before the game shut down. We finally got that. Check it out the bucket list.
Had to get it out of the way. Can you imagine though getting banned when there's like a month left to play the game? Like they just don't want you to play the last month of the game. That is pretty funny. All right, Cardis, what did you do?
I'm honestly surprised they're even still looking at the fans. That's really funny. Hey, it just goes to show though, they're still actively working on this game. Even though shutdown's coming, if you're someone who's not still playing, you should be coming in and checking it out. Like they're still putting out patches and they're still clearly even banning problem players. So
yeah. I mean, it's true. It's definitely true. I'm still really excited to like check out the last season, last suit. That's gonna be super fun. And I mean, hey, I'll say it again. It's great to see everybody still playing tournaments for this game. Kind of almost more than ever at this point. A lot of people still playing. Still good player base. They shouldn't have canceled the game. It is what it is. But it's good to see, you know, here in Crosshair and just kind of everything that's happened in general. So even if you get banned, make another account, baby.
Free to play game moment. Yeah,
Yep.
Bans, you know, they're harder than you really can just keep playing. Although we have seen in the past some certain players who have been banned and then they immediately get banned when they pull up their ults too. So, you know, depends on the player, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens now if either Rizzards either getting a sub or potentially Cardis getting on an ult account. I will say though, Cardis loving that heavy arms, and if his ult account doesn't have heavy arms unlocked, I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Well, we'll see if that maybe his team doesn't like the heavy arms. So they're like, we gotta get the account banned. So Cardis has to play Sazabi. We gotta get Cardis back on the Sazabi. Come on. So maybe that's a self-team strategy, you know?
yeah. This entire time, his team said no heavy arms, and he's just been forcing it every map anyway, and they finally got sick of it and said, "All right." Oh, I mean, something tells me with the name of the account that heavy arms is unlocked and will be available in this match.
Oh wait, you're in the game. What's the name of the account? Give me
The account's name is Heavy Farms. Yeah, so something tells me Heavy Arms will be in play in this match.
Oh yeah, that's true. We'll make it happen. I haven't opened the game for a few days, so I'll add you. I'll add you later. All right, if this ult gets banned, can we make sure that at least this ult doesn't get banned until after the match, please? Please, Bamco. Can we just get through this one? We're just gonna have to redo every single round with a different ult account.
Yeah, who is the representative? Actually, he got removed, but like, whoever that was. Hey, listen.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the original guy, Anthony, I think was his name.
Yeah. I was thinking of his moniker. I remembered Anthony. I couldn't remember the moniker.
Yeah, it was like
Antreezy.
Yeah.
Listen, bud. I know you probably don't have any pull anymore, but
sorry, he'll still probably do more for us than the rest of the reps that the game's had. So.
Jesus.
I was kidding. He was pretty goated, honestly. He was pretty sick, man. Did that whole thing where he like talked to people in the Discord and like listened to everybody's stuff. Kind of felt like him leaving was unfortunate, but at least we were getting something at some point, some communication. That was tight. Cool guy.
Yeah, for people who were unaware or maybe weren't part of the scene earlier or when or in the Gen L League at the time, yeah, we had I think it was every other month for a few months we had a meeting with Antreezy where you were able to join in on public call and sort of give feedback and sort of hear from the dev team what was going on really with the game. So yeah, there was some really great communication there. It was a shame that it kind of came to an end, unfortunately.
Yeah, I heard that guy. I think he ends up working for Pokemon, so I'm surprised I haven't crossed paths with him. But he ended up like moving and changing companies, and then everything happened. But I hope he's doing well wherever he was, because that was definitely nice to have that communication. But now I want to communicate with these teams and tell them to freaking get ready quickly. Let's do this.
We're waiting on one. So
I want to go back now though, to kind of get back into normalcy. We're back into caster mode. The game's starting. I want to go back now. When we look at the pick bans here, one thing we didn't really think about there is Ultra Cardis. He loves those heavy arms, but there was no target ban there. So I want to actually know now, with all of this drama surrounding the are they going to regret not banning the heavy arms when Ultra Cardis pulls it out here, or are we going to see the heavy arms sort of not get the value that's wanted?
I love heavy arms. I actually think that heavy arms, to me, even though it's like kind of like I don't know, just left click at people, like I think it's one of the most fun suits. But I don't know if it got. I mean, we did see it on the thermal plant map, and I don't think it got super high value, unfortunately. It did have that one really good like barrage that like cleared an entire room, but altogether, I don't know. This might be a good map though. Honestly, I think this could be a pretty good map for heavy arms. This is kind of that like more mid-rangey domination map, and there are some high grounds that you can flip to. So we'll see. We might see a little bit more of it. I mean, Sazabi, of course, is just so hard to always give up, but heavy farms, baby, with the heavy farms card, not even coordinated. I love it.
Yeah, I'm really curious because if the triple melee comp comes out again and we're seeing that on the other side, it's going to be really important for those melee characters to get on the heavy arms quickly, because if heavy armor is able to just sit back and shoot at the melee players who are coming towards his team, it's going to get an insane amount of value. But if the melee players focus on getting that to that heavy arms quickly and not letting him just sort of set up, then the heavy arms is probably going to get crushed. So I think that's going to be a really vital part of these fights is where is the heavy arms and can the melees get to him quickly?
Oh, we got the hook cam. Oh, the only thing that's important. Let's go. Yeah, I do think too it can be a little bit annoying to try and chase down heavy arms on particular like sections. Like if heavy arms can technically like jump down, it's like does the melee jump down with you? Because then it can just flip back up, and it can be kind of annoying to target. But you do need to get rid of it. Like you said, it has extremely high damage altogether, like really great sustained damage, and there's nothing shielding these units from all of this damage. So we'll see if that ends up getting picked. It does seem like we are going to be sticking with the triple melee on the side of For Fun Gaming, and the other side we've got some interesting picks. The turn A is coming out that was banned before. Cabaltic is going to be on that's the Hyperion again, right? It's a little bit blurry. And heavy farms on the heavy arms. Oh, is that not? No,
it's the new Gundam.
That is new. Yeah. See, I thought I was wrong. It was just a little blurry for me. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, what we're seeing now, the team's already fighting over C point, and we see right away Delta Pilot and Sweet Peanut Butter getting into the left room on C, just trying to take in that close angle, and the barb slam immediately taking out a robot, and Hockey coming in with the follow-up, taking out 2 more. This triple melee value is already insane. This is so fun.
That looks very familiar. I kind of feel like For Fun started off in a very similar way last time. Although this time around, it's not going to be the stun from the Mihiru. It's just going to be another melee. So they're just running all the way through. Sweet Peanut Butter also getting one more pick to kind of get a little bit more of a stagger. And a big thing here, of course, is we're going to need to see this turn A build up a lot of that G maneuver gauge. Try to build up for the butterfly. But For Fun, I mean, they are just death balling for sure. And this is a scary little corner here that we can see. Rizzards, if they get caught with any of this melee, they are going down. That's exactly what's going to happen. A robot and Cardis both going down. I like heavy farms. I think it should be a permanent name, but this is already looking like most of at least a full hold, regardless of what happens here for Fun.
No, I thought C point was going to be the struggle point for this triple melee comp with how open it is and how much range there is, but For Fun playing to their strengths of this comp really well with the little trap play with the barb slam, and then just the team capitalizing with it together, being very coordinated, like I mentioned earlier. Coordination here with this comp is key, and so far so good.
No, I thought the exact same thing. I thought that was going to be exactly the point where they were going to get walled off on, but they were just so far forward so quickly. They just got there quicker, and I feel like A is going to be maybe like the best point for them, with kind of like the high-low kind of like angles. Maybe not A, maybe B could be a little bit better, but regardless, A and B are both going to be significantly stronger. Trentam's ready for Mr. Hockey. Not even going to use it off the bat here to try and secure this. We are going to get 2 kills already from the melee suits. So Winty is going to stop Delta Pilot's only 2 back up, but that's 3 members down from Rizzards. The melee just running over them because he's death falling. We're going to see Cardis trying to exactly like that. If you follow downstairs, it's hard because there's just going to be the big flip up from the heavy arms, and we're going to see Cardis get the health pack twice, stay very annoyingly alive.
Yeah, he's staying alive, but he's not taking point, and so it's just more time going towards For Fun, although the grab from turn A is able to take out Delta Pilot, and that's 2 picks in the side of Rizzards. They really need to get on the board right now.
They do, but now that's the thing too about how annoying this comp is going to be. Like, they are getting a lot of picks, but there's just a bunch of people just kind of sliding around, right? It's hard to catch every single person on this team of For Fun. Finally, they get all cleaned up, but it's only going to be like 15 seconds worth of points, so still going to be a really, really solid kind of 3 times lead from For Fun. We're moving back over to C, so I think early positioning is going to be really, really important. You can see actually most of For Fun's already there. Like you said, this can be a really tough point for them, but if they hold these forward positions, then they can kind of get their own choke points at melee range.
Yeah, and like already we're seeing a bit of an adjustment on the side of Rizzards here with a bit of a split push with 3 on one side and 3 on the other. The ult coming in from Cassie on the inside knocks Sweet Peanut Butter into the lava. That's a lot of damage. And the turn A ult coming out from OG Name. Is this going to be the value they wanted? Yes, it is. That's 3 ults popped on the side of Rizzards, but they're able to take point.
Yeah, that I think specifically the Screaming Nimbus is going to be really important here. I mean, anytime that you've got a Death Ball team, right, that is just one of the best counters in the entire world to it. It's so hard to stick together, especially, too, the place where they hit them, like you said, you mentioned knocked into the lava, forced the usage of the E from the, or I guess it's just the jump from the Barbados to get back up, and it just split everything up. But here we go. The counter Screaming Nimbus coming back. Delta Pilot using the ult as well, going to be taking down turn A, and that's going to be 2 picks, 3 picks. Unruly also Heisei using everything. They're just like, okay, you used all of your ults in the last push. We're going to use all of ours this time around, and that is going to be a retake. Not quite in time to be able to win off of this point, but they can get a huge lead here, and it's really hard to hunt down every single person standing on this point because you have to get all the way around the pit.
Yeah, I mean, possibly a bit of a miscalculation, though, with all those ults used, because like you said, not enough time to actually win off of this point, and that means they're not going to be coming in to this last point with too many ults, so a bit of a chance for Rizzards here as they push For Fun out, but not before they get the rest of that point. We're going here to B point, which we haven't seen yet, so we don't know who's really going to be favored here, and so far, it looks like Rizzards are going to be the first people on point.
I do think this is going to be really good, actually, for fun. They do have, this is going to be the best point, in my opinion, to have the ult from the Unicorn, and then we're very, very close to that Trans-Am from Mr. Hockey on the Susanoo. Unruly's actually already going to get a pick off the bat without using any sort of resources, so that's 2 down for Rizzards for fun. Looks like they might have control here, and we are going to be popping everything that we possibly can. Let's see how much damage we can get out of this. Mr. Hockey not using the Trans-Am quite yet, but this is going to be a first pick here for fun. They're taking the point. There's plenty left to try to get the stagger, but they're getting very low. We're going to see Cardis going down, Robots going down, almost nobody left, and that's going to be 3 rounds in a row now, dominantly won for fun. They are 1 away from winning the set.
Yeah, I mean, potentially a bit of a map pick differential, because it looks like domination here is going squarely in favor of For Fun. Leading towards these melee characters has just seemed to work out really well for Fun here, and yeah, we saw like the attempted repush there on the side of Rizzards, but it wasn't enough. I was hoping for potentially a huge Zeta ult, but it just didn't get the value that Robot was looking for, because For Fun they're playing coordinated, but once they sort of get their buffs out, they do kind of spread out a little bit more, and I think that worked out really well for them.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance here. We're definitely seeing at least Rizzards put in a lot more work this time around than they did on Thermal Plant, I think. They just got to keep holding on to as many of their resources, I think, as possible. And what points we end up getting here are going to be really important, in my opinion. But they just haven't won those initial fights. And I think that's got to be the biggest thing. They got to find a way to take control of these things off the bat. And I still actually personally think that maybe no, actually, I don't know. They've got some tough choices as far as what they want to actually use comp-wise to counter this triple melee. I feel like they're not going all in on trying to counter it quite yet, but maybe they have to.
Yeah, I mean, the Hyperion pick, I definitely have those question marks about against this composition. But I also want to point out Mr. Hockey with all of that damage on Susanoo, and keeping in mind all the tanking that Susanoo does too by getting armor when he gets kills. And yeah, there's a lot of value on that Susanoo, so you got to think of how can we stop that Susanoo from getting so much value. And I don't see the answer on the side of Rizzards yet. Although a great grab from a Robot makes a Delta Pilot and him sort of get traded out here, and Hockey tries to capitalize off the space, but he's not able to. He goes down.
Ooh, and this is kind of even here, honestly. Sweeping about a little bit low and really extremely low, but there's a decent amount of healing with just who's left here. Once we can get this heal pack back up, no, and Ruli's gonna get picked off. Gab from getting picked off from behind. Cobaltic actually gonna get a lot of these kills in the end, but I think a little bit more it was the Susanoo flank that we got to see. So I was mentioning that we didn't see almost any of these initial fights being won by Rizzards, but they did a great job of it this time around. And this is gonna be, I think, a little bit more of an awkward point for the melee, because there's so many different weird split up places that the other team can kind of fight from. So we'll see if this counter push ends up working, but Gab already going down. Delta Pilots though taking out 2 and 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think both times now we've seen when Rizzards are playing spread out, these melees can't get the value that they're looking for. But when the teams are playing too close together, like we saw right there, Delta Pilot immediately getting 2. And I think that's what's really going to matter for these fights is, can you play spread out enough that For Fun aren't able to get on you with their melees? Because if you're not, then the melees are just getting too much value. It shows right there at the end, 11% there, but overall Rizzards taking out most of the points there, and they're already set up on C.
Yeah, this is looking really good for them. We'll see. Okay, there's a push through. Wow, oh, well, Rizzards is grouping up a lot right here. I feel like that's a scary choice. We're going to be trading 1 for 1, but it looks like For Fun's going to be able to at least get... Oh, no, almost got the pickup. Wasn't quite able to. Trying to bait everybody into this little bit of a hallway, it looks like. Cashin's going to be going down, but this melee is just running through a little bit too strong. It's going to be 3 picks altogether. One person running back in this Screaming Nimbus from Sweet Peanut Butter to try and guarantee this take. They are going to get the take. They're not super healthy, but if they can all kind of regroup, get a little bit of health back, this could be a really solid hold.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Dom ult come out there to sort of push and give them the space to get out of that room, and we also saw Wave on sort of the flank with the Zaku melee, actually able to create a lot of space for his team, and there's attempted to do a bit of a retake here, but it's just going back and forth, but since For Fun already had the point, that back and forth is in their favor.
Yeah, and they're going to be just barely taking back this lead. Again, they just need to win this to win the entire set. This is the decider here, and all this damage. I mean, being able to hold that high ground is so good from the Dom, but finally gets picked off. The Susanoo counter, I mean, hey, it's a great counter for Melee. It's a great suit in general, and this looks like this should be the retake. Nobody there to stop it, but 3 seconds left. Who cares? I like the fact that we see For Fun, of course, repositioning. Going back to A, which actually seemed like maybe the most problematic point for the triple Melee. I'd have to guess that a lot of it has to do with the fact that there is this big pit in the middle, so trying to follow around with the unicorn or trying to catch everybody running, you know, circles around it can be a little bit tough for this Melee. We'll see if they can do a better job this time around with a ton of G maneuvers on both sides.
Yeah, we're already seeing all the G maneuvers pop. That's 5 so far, and we're probably going to see even more. No kills actually from the Barbalt there. It seems to have been denied. Turn A goes down before they're able to pop ult. Valenci with the Pale Rider ult doesn't get the value he was probably looking for, and Kovaltic with the Hyperion ult, he's actually able to get one. There goes Wave. But then OG name on the Susanoo goes down, but the point is in favor of For Fun. Never mind, retaken by Rizzards.
That was the most G maneuvers popped with like no kills from the actual G maneuvers that I've like ever seen. I don't know how that ended up happening. The only one that was actually a G maneuver kill technically was the Hyperion Lancer kill, but regardless, great first take. Again, they've got to hold on to this for as long as possible. This can be a really tough one again, though, to kind of make it all the way back and get the retake on, because it's so easy to just kind of jump between the levels and run around the circle. And For Fun is here. They do have the majority of people on the point, but by the time they manage to clear this out, they might not have much time. Gab's going to be going down. I'm assuming already starting to reposition back over to C. We haven't seen B yet at all, but the lead going back and forth this time. This is definitely the best round that we've seen by a gigantic margin from Rizzards on these domination maps.
Yeah, absolutely, and probably For Fun there are regretting a little bit not just setting up at C right away and going for those last few seconds dead, because there were some picks there that might give Rizzards the space to sort of come in here, but Rizzards, they're all pretty grouped up as a team. They need to be a bit more spread out to deal with these melees, and it looks like they're finally doing that now with the whole team sort of spacing out.
Fun little visual bug right there, but we are going to see, yeah, this, oh, never mind, the grab does not connect, and that's actually huge, because this could have been the perfect moment potentially for a butterfly, but there's no counters to it on the other side, except for if you get killed first, and that isn't what's happening, but there's going to be a great job from Rizzards to manage to clean up most of For Fun, despite how that started off, and now the resources, I gotta say, looking really good. A defensive G maneuver, the defensive butterfly, is going to be so hard for the full melee comp to deal with, right? Delta Pilot really needs to have maybe that Barb ult to counter it. Otherwise, you're just kind of shooting in the air, right? And Ruli and Gab are going to have to just focus it down. But Screaming Nimbus is going to be the first one of these to come out from Sweet Peanut Butter, trying to lead the charge. And we do see the robots turn A, kicking out 2 people at least with that. That should hold on really well. And Ruli and Gab, though, sitting in the back, trying to contest this.
No, yeah, you predicted that perfectly. The turn A ult, which sort of came out, and For Fun didn't have a way to deal with it. And with only 2 members left on point here, it's gonna be a big struggle to try and retake this. And we see now Delta Pilot, the last alive for his team, is coming in trying to delay, but it's not gonna be enough. And yeah, Hockey's not able to make it in time. And yeah, I mean, that turn A ult from A Robot just sort of sealed the deal. They had no way to take it out of the air, so that ult was just a guaranteed sort of fight win.
Yeah, that was really good stuff. That suit's obviously working really well here. It's going to work pretty good on all the points. It's going to be able to obviously get the grab counters. And so we're going to a final round of the set. After losing 3 rounds straight pretty dominantly, Rizzards finally back on board. And now it's a big question mark. I also have to point out Castian on that RX-78 too was doing so much work. I would not be surprised if we ended up seeing them as the MVP once this match is over, regardless of win or loss, because that was like a lot of kills, and I just wasn't really even putting that out. Oh yeah, you can see the damage right here. Actually, not as much as Felwinty, but getting the really important kind of like headshot picks in the end, I think, was the biggest deal, and still quite a bit of damage. Being able to mace as well against the melee, big deal. So I think a really good job.
Yeah, the pale numbers are absolutely huge, and you can't like not credit Felwinty for that. Those are some crazy numbers. But like you were talking about, the Gundam, while he might have lower damage, the time to kill with Gundam is very small. So just like one good shot can really make a huge difference with Gundam, and we're seeing that value sort of come out here. No comp change on the side of For Fun or Rizzards, both believing in their game plan.
Hey, it was close. I like this. This is coming down to the very final round. This has been a really good set, but a really weird way that it played out. And now it's going to be C to start things off again. We're going to get the first pick coming off against Castian from that Zaku 2 melee. They are going to pick Castian back up, but oh, the big jump. Triple slam. Was it even a quadruple slam? There was at least a triple slam for Delta Pilot. Goes down, not enough to follow it up. No teammates there available. At least it's building some really good spacing. That is going to be the first take from For Fun, but Mr. Hockey going down as well. This might just end up having to be a cleanup job. That's going to be 2 more and only a couple people left on this point. So this percentage is going to be holding on. Delta Pilot's going to be back in time, but oh no, not even in time to hold on to the point. Great job from Rizzards. They're going to be taking the lead very shortly.
Yeah, Rizzards doing great at sort of letting the other team plays commit, but then staying far enough away that they couldn't get the value they really wanted. I saw that with Delta Pilot getting a huge slam, but it wasn't enough to sort of make the space for his team to come in with him. And Rizzards were just able to buy enough time there. We're able to get on point here, but as I say that, Hockey's coming in with Asano to try and take that point back. Delta Pilot coming up from the bottom, but the slam doesn't hit, and that's all the melees down.
Yeah, it looks like to me, this is definitely, in my opinion, going to be the rest of the point for Rizzards, but it looks to me like the coordination on the pushes in that particular first point were not as good as For Fun has had before. We saw some great slams, some great initiations, but it was only one at a time, so the melees just kind of staggered in, and they need to kind of re-get their rhythm for these next few points. We're finally going to B, and I do think that B is going to be the best of the points for the triple melee team. It's very, very up close. There's a little bit of verticality, but they can just hold in these doorways, so we'll see if For Fun can actually do that, as we're going to open up in 10 seconds, and it looks like first good positioning already is for Fun.
And we see the Pale Rider ult here pop from Felwinty. He's able to take out Gift of Gab, unruly with his Pale Rider ult, able to take out OG Name, and we're seeing a huge brawl go back and forth here, but the point does sort of start for Fun, but these ults are sort of running out of time, and once those Pale ults are down, it's going to be hours left to try and take this point back.
They just like the ego fought. Oh, the grenade, huge from Felwinty to take out Unruly right there. But that was just funny. They were just strafing back and forth, shooting across the map at each other, both in Hades. Like, oh, I'm gonna get you. But oh, that's huge. The Lancer comes out. 3 picks from the side of Rizzards, and now we've got the raged up Zaku 2 melee and the Barb. So this could be a good cleanup job. Actually, Delta Pilot gonna get 1 pick with that ult, but finally going down. Both of them finally going down. Mr. Hockey's back and Unruly's back. Gab is running back all the way up through the top, actually able to take out Felwinty, so this could be a retake, but there's just so many members staggering in from Rizzards, and they just can't focus them down as one big group. This looks like this is going to be a good hold altogether, and they're really almost exactly tied going to point C.
Wow, I mean, like we talked about earlier, how powerful the ability of these melees are to just sort of be able to sit on point and buy time, and it really reared its head there with For Fun probably getting a lot more time than you would think with how the kills were going. So that was great play from them to sort of do what they can in a sort of a rough situation and do a lot for their team. But as I say that, the ult comes out from For Fun with Dom and Unicorn, but we see a turn A ult in response going uncontested in the air, and that's 2 kills already, and that's the fight already for Rizzards.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was pretty early. It was pretty early on. I mean, it was great timing, right? Of course, right as soon as this opens. Now, we do see Delta Pilot still hanging on to this point, saying, I'm not going to let you cap this right so quickly, but that's going to be a gigantic stagger. They are going to pick up Rizzards on the point, and now they're going to be 5 members of For Fun waiting for Delta Pilot to come back, and they don't have that much percentage. Obviously, you can't win here, but you really don't want to get into a losing position on the next point, so they're going to have to push back really quickly if they do want that. No G maneuvers available. Felwinty does have the Hades, so we might see that pop defensively here to hold on to the rest of this, and we will. Already 1 pick, 2 picks. Delta Pilot and Get the Gap both going down. Holding the top of this ramp looks a little bit too strong, and really going down as well. And now I don't think there's any chance that we aren't going to see this full hold with the team kill. 1 more point potentially for Rizzards to win this set.
Yeah, Felwinty with a great payload there to sort of secure that point for his team and buy some time for his teammates to build their ults as well, because even with that payload popped, Rizzards are coming in here with the ultimate advantage with that Gundam ult and Hyperion ult. I want to see that Hyperion ult be able to take out some of these melees because they have to get in close to utilize their abilities.
Yeah, this is still a big advantage as far as resources for the side of Rizzards, but we'll see how they can actually use them because, yeah, like you mentioned, they're kind of weird ults. But okay, the Lancer's going to pick up at least 1. We've seen a lot of mileage out of that. I mean, against multiple melee, that's really, really good. That's 2 more picks. There's only 3 members left of For Fun. The first cap is going to Rizzards. They've got the RX-78 ult as well, which is going to be really, really hard to target down from triple melee, so they have to make sure that that's not going to be the end. Unruly, though, popping the Hades, trying to get the carry back. Oh, not enough targets as everybody's just going to be jumping down the hole, running around. The spin comes out from the Zaku 2 melee as well. Nobody's going down. 3, though, all at once for Fun going down.
Yep. Ultra Cardis coming in with the heavy arms ult. They just sort of secure these kills as they were running away from all the other players. And with that, that's the game for Rizzards. What a massive comeback on Ironwork with a... I didn't expect that at all, honestly, after the first round.
Me neither. Wow, ban me more next time coming out from Cardis. But wow, what a huge turnaround. That was a great set. Yeah, I mean, 3 rounds. Okay, so obviously, again, if anybody didn't watch this entire thing, Rizzards destroying on the first map, and then the second map For Fun absolutely destroying. So that was Harbor and then Thermal Plant. And then in the final game, it looked like, I mean, it was 3 rounds straight dominantly for Fun, but Rizzards, they got back so perfectly. And I mean, I think they just found the perfect strategy against that comp. They decided to kind of play in different positioning. They were able to flex back really well once they started getting pushed. They kind of like walked in and then immediately backed up and kind of baited the dive when there wasn't enough people there able to do it. The turn A was huge. The 2 big turn A ults that we saw were point winners. They were full point winners, right? I mean, I think we got to say that coming out from a robot. Just everything about the comp that they switched around, the strategy, I think it was genius, but really well played from both teams. This is a great set.
Yeah, it really was a fantastic set. I love seeing a set go 3 full maps because it just shows that these teams were very close. This was a pretty neck and neck game, and it was a pretty important one too. So the winner of this, like, I mean, Rizzards are gonna be really happy that they won this match. So I see top of the leaderboard now with that win, like just securing their position. And For Fun are gonna be probably a little bit disappointed that they didn't win that map. But like you were talking about, the way that Rizzards adjusted against the melee comp is really commendable. I think the big thing is how they spread out, and like you were talking about, they were baiting in these sort of executes. We saw in the very first fight of this map, Delta Pilot get a huge stun immediately and just instantly turn the fight in favor of For Fun. And Rizzards sort of saw that and they adjusted and they didn't let it happen like that again. At least that was their goal. And I think overall they accomplished that goal of not letting themselves be caught out. They played more spread out. They let the melees have to go in and engage them while they just sort of sat back. Sure, yeah, take the first 10 seconds a point. It's fine. We'll sit back, take away all your health, and then collapse in on you when you finally use all your resources.
Yeah, I think if anything, it was positioning was number 1. Yeah, the way that they like just didn't overcommit and get dove on, like they just played that perfect spacing to not let that happen was beautiful. But again, I mean, you can see, I mean, this is clearly going to be a really close race altogether in this this current season or whatever, second half of the season, whatever technically this is. I'm so bad at keeping track of what technically everything is, but I mean, everybody's doing really, really well, and a lot of these teams. Globos Blancos, what a stupid name. Love it, by the way. But everybody's like really leveled up a lot, and no team is free. So I'm excited to see how the rest of this goes, because yeah, even that, look at Rizzards of Oz top team won by the skin of their teeth, right? Like the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, skin of their teeth to the team in 4th seed, right? That's like a pretty big gap. And Like, so that means that this like top 4 at least. I mean, and look at Globos Blancos in the same scoreline as Rizzards. So when you look at this overall, I mean, extended warranty right there, right below them. Gunham 7 stars right below. Overall, you look at the standings here, and these teams are all neck and neck. If it's that close between teams like who are pretty far apart in the standings, that means like overall, with everyone still left in this league, these are going to be some pretty exciting games to watch as the season goes on. I expect more and more close matches like that.
I do as well. So that's going to be the end of the set. Congratulations to both teams again. Really, really great set to watch. I'm glad that I got a chance to jump in today. And thanks again, of course, to everybody that was in production or casting or watching or playing today. I'm not going to go through every single person because I know we like to jump out of these pretty quick. So that's been a great set. Congratulations to Rizzards of Oz. We'll catch you all for whatever next game is. And as usual, be sure to check out the Discord to see, or the Twitter to see when the actual next set's going to be. But thank you from all of us. I was Wonder Chef. That, of course, was Red Protocol. And we'll see you all next time.
I'm craving hope in this darkness. You say I'm just a joke, just a joke. Shivers my spine so